Welcome back to the channel, Desk of a Humble Genius. And what we're going to go over today is the best ad hooks. If you run ads and you're looking for the best ad hooks to get a better click-through rate and increase your hook rates past 25%, then you better watch this video because I guarantee you that there's going to be a hook that you can take from this video that's going to allow you to get better results on your ads. I've spent over 35 million on ads. Here's the best hooks that I would go with. So let's go down to the whiteboard and let's hop right into this. The first one is inverse effect. It means you're telling the prospect to do the thing that they've believed for so long that's actually a good thing. So if I said to you, stop running ads, all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, dude, you sell ads. So that's just a good pattern interrupt. It's the inverse effect. If you sell organic, do not post on social media. Everyone for the last God knows how long has been told to be posting on social media. So you use that hook, and that's what we call the inverse effect. Number two is the case study hook. The case study hook is very, very simple, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If I started the ad off and I was targeting a certain niche, let's say I target tax planners. We have a recent case study where this girl, Tiffany, she got like a 7x ROAS on her ads. So what would I say? Here's Tiffany. She's a tax planner, and she got a 7x ROAS on her ads. That's a quick, straight to the point hook. That's what we call a case study hook. Okay, so you're using the niche, a person's example, obviously a screenshot of the proof because you can't just state that stuff and not have the actual like backing of the proof. So that would be a good hook as well. If you were to use this in home services, say you're targeting Tampa. This is Derek. He's a Tampa homeowner. Here's his roof before. Here's his roof after. Case study hook. The third type of hook is come look at this. This kind of hook has worked very well for me, especially in the advertising space, but it can actually work in other niches. So if I was working on something here and I said to my camera guy, come look at these ad results, or come look at this new home we just did, or come look at this new kitchen we just remodeled. And then the person, the cameraman, will come around and go over the shoulder. And you can also call this the over the shoulder. Okay. It's a great angle for social proof, pattern interrupt. Okay. Next one is going to be interview. Okay. But it has to be the correct setting. So, for example, if I was interviewing business owners, right, if I had my mic right here and then I passed it, we're going to use my McLaren key as an example. I would say, so who am I talking to? Person talks. What does your business do? How much are you making per month? How much were you making when you first started with us? And what was the biggest difference working with us than competitors that you know that we have in the industry? That's the interview hook. Now, the reason why I put correct setting there is because you need to interview people in settings that people know of. So, for example, if I'm interviewing a marketer, where would I interview them? FHL, Funnel Hacking Live. I would go to an event like AdCon. I would go to an event like 10X GrowthCon. Okay, I would go to events that people have some type of branded association with. You know, there's a lot of other events, but that's the best piece right there is you find clients who are at an event of yours or convention and you ask them there. You know, like when I first started my journey, there was a huge trucking convention event that people used to go to. Like if I was working with truckers, I would get this big ass truck in the background in the convention and I would interview them because the congruency of the background. And that brings me to the next kind of hook, okay, which is the background hook. Okay, the background hook is all about congruency. If I was shooting this video right now and I didn't have my ClickFunnels award and my Inc. 5000 award, what would that not constitute? Congruency, because I'm teaching you online marketing, but I don't have the things that would constitute my authority. The background is honestly half the battle sometimes. Like if I'm in the credit repair business, okay, what would I have behind me? I would have a bunch of credit cards or a screen of my credit score or something that's congruent in the background. If I was in the med spa niche, what would I have behind me? A patient getting Botox behind me, something congruent, a person getting permanent makeup behind me. Like the background is actually very important for congruency reasons. Also, there's two types of background hook. There's product and there's location. So what does that mean? Product is like literally what you sell. Okay, what is the thing you sell? If I'm a basketball trainer, my background better be at a basketball court with a bunch of men playing behind me or women playing behind me, and I'm selling a basketball training camp. Location is if I'm just serving New York City, for example. What would be a good background? Times Square, so that there's congruency, where people are like, oh, I live in New York City. I know what Times Square is. These things matter for location purposes. If I was targeting Phoenix business owners, what would I have behind me? Probably, you know, in the middle of Scottsdale with a cactus behind me because it's congruency. There are business owners in Phoenix. They drive in their cars every day, they see cactuses. It's simple things like that that really do hook them in because it builds congruency and it keeps you on the same playing field as them. Another hook is when we do an interrupt in first 3 seconds. What do I mean by that? You've seen those videos where they throw a baseball and it goes into the screen and it looks like the baseball is going to hit you. That's an interrupt in the first 3 seconds. It's got to be very, very quick to grab the attention. So it's either like the baseball video. What are some other ones? There's like ones where like people are doing acrobatic things and then they fall and they wind up falling into the camera. You know, just like what I like to call jitters. Jitters at the screen that cause quick flashes that, to be honest, I've been susceptible to this, but I've been laying in my bed on my phone, and my phone has literally fallen on my face because I got startled. Or the ones where, like, the ghost comes out of the closet, like the scary ones, and then from there, you go into your actual pitch or your hook. If you're in, like, the biz op niche, or you're in online marketing, the money gun is a great hook, where you're just, like, you have a money gun and you just spray a ton of friggin' money from the Supreme money gun. That's a good hook. Second is outfits. Okay, so when you wear like interesting outfits, it just catches people off guard. Outfits are the same reason why mascots stand out in sports. If you guys know one of my friends, Rudy Maurer, he wears a lot of red in his ads. That's a good outfit example. Gets a lot of attention. Okay, and then if he added the money gun in, but here's the problem with the money gun. There's two things here. There is compliance, but there's also like a lead quality premise of it. Is that people who use the money gun, they get lower lead quality, because you're attracting people who want fast money. So it really just depends on what niche you're in. If you're selling a digital product, then go money gun. But if you're selling like a high ticket service, don't go money gun. And then the last kind of hook is going to be one of the most important ones as you build your brand, which is the association hook. Okay, what does that mean? I have a lot of ads out there where I have compilations of really big names giving me social proof. It's massively important. Or, you know, pics with celebs that you obviously have permission, or maybe you've worked with a celebrity or you've trained a celebrity. So if you've seen, that's like one of my clips with Jeremy Miner, Andy Elliott, Jamil Damji, all these guys shouting me out in their podcast, saying that I run their stuff, Chris Crone as well, like all these awesome hooks. It helps build that association because association selling is honestly the easiest. So I hope you took one of these hooks and can go run with it and you have a good idea. Hope you guys enjoy the new content. I love this whiteboard. Lets me be more visual. Lets me be more, obviously more thorough with the explanations and giving you the ability to screenshot and take content throughout the video. So with that being said, share it with a couple friends, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.